Okay, so welcome everyone. Thank you very much for being here this afternoon for our first meeting of connecting and scaling. As I said just a little bit earlier, we will be changing these out as we move forward to be two separate meetings so that those who are in scaling, those who are in connecting will not have to share a meeting day. My name is Kelly Caudle, and I'm the head of our ITC, and I'll be your instructor for this class. I think most of you have had me. If not, just a real quick introduction. I would turn on my video, but I'm actually at home today. I did not go to work. Anybody else lose audio? Can y'all hear me?
I still got you.
Okay. Cassandra is on mute. I don't know if she has a microphone or not, but.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. It may have just been a little dropout there, Brandon. But I've been with Stanley for over 20 years. Actually, I got to looking the other day, and when I restarted my CCNA or got CCNA Cyber Ops, I noticed that I've had a CCNA since 1999. So, in fact, it was February of 1999. So I've been a CCNA for 20 years now, which I think is kind of cool. But again, I'm home today, so I won't show you my ugly mug today, but I will show you later. And that way you'll be able to recognize who I am if we ever bump into each other. I hope that actually some of you will be at my conference at East Carolina coming up on March the 5th or 6th, I believe, which is going to be our big ASC ITC meeting that we have every year. Brandon, if you can't hear me, why don't you go ahead and just disconnect and reconnect and see if that helps it? Because like I said, I think everyone else can hear, so it must have been something on your end. Yeah, the mic is definitely working beside mine. I'm gonna mute and unmute you and see if that helps at all. So Brandon, drop off and drop back on, and then maybe that will fix your issue. All right. So what I want to do today, again, just a quick overview of what I do. I am responsible for the Instructor Training Center and the Academy Support Center at Stanley Community College. If you ever need to know about our training center, or you need to know about items that we do in our training center, I got all kind of stuff open here, so I need to close some of this. My emails here.
Hey, now I can hear you.
You got me? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. Sure enough. But we have a website for our Academy Support Center, and it's stanley.edu ASC ITC. And this will take you to our Academy Support Center and Instructor Training Center area. This is where you can go get our latest contract if you want to see that. This is where you can actually see our ugly mugs and everyone who's involved with the Academy at Stanley. If you've never seen our ugly mugs before. Let's see, I need this thing to move. And also, again, if you go back to this Instructor Training Center, this is how we're getting it, unstable internet connection. That's what I get for living in the boonies. But this is where our class schedule is and will always be. So I need to change the names because we actually switched classes out, and I'll change those out. But I had to switch with Kirby to take the scaling and connecting. But this is www.stanley.edu ASC ITC will get you to our ASC ITC page, which is something that many people need to be able to see our class schedule, because if you're not in connecting, you will probably take scaling. You'll probably take connecting next in the summer. All of you, thank you very much, have completed your initial assignment, your introductory assignment inside of canvas.stanley.edu. In fact, Canvas, we really won't be using that anymore. I will ask you to log into it one or two more times as we go through the semester, just to quote for attendance. But all of your work is going to be done in two places, and that is in NetAcad and in NetLabs. Now, what I did today for all of you is I did put in the assignment dates for you. And so I went in and did that on the assignments. And I want to show y'all something, because I actually showed an instructor this the other day, and I don't think a lot of instructors know this, but when you set assignment dates, there's several ways you can do it. You can go to the assignments themselves, edit every assignment, and give it a date. So you could go in here and you could edit this, and you could give a due date under more options and all these things. That is a real pain to do. If you will go to calendar, and this may be worth just coming to the class today for this, but if you go to calendar and you have not set any dates on assignments, so in other words, you're in a brand new class and you need to set assignment dates, what you can actually do is you can come over and you can select a class that has not had the date set. So let me see. Here's my security class. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to look at the undated items. And now you will see all of the items for security that are assignments that are available. And it may take it a little bit because I have a very slow internet connection here. But you can see here the chapter exams and these things that are all assignments. That's for a different class. Let me go turn off all these other classes. Let me turn off. I got all these other classes on for some reason. Okay, so now the only thing on is my security classes. So you can see chapter 1, I'm going to want the chapter 1 exam due on the 17th. I can just drag it out to the 17th. What that does is inside of the assignments, it automatically gives a due date of the 17th, 11:59 p.m. on the 17th. All right, and then you can go down here and do the same thing. You know there's a chapter 1 packet tracer or chapter 1 labs. You can go down here for the chapter 1 labs and drag them over. The only thing that happens sometimes is when you drag it out the first time, it doesn't work. You have to drag it out the second time. So what I am actually doing is I'm actually setting the dates for the assignments in my security class, which is really nice and a quick way to do it instead of having to go to every single assignment and actually touch it. Okay, so that is a really neat thing that you can do. Have y'all been doing it that way, or have you been doing it by each assignment?
I've been doing each assignment.
Okay.
I stumbled across the calendar and the drag on accident, and I was like, well, what's this? And that's what I discovered. Oh, this works.
Yep. And so now what you'll be able to see when I go over to assignments in my security class, that if I go down to chapter 1, it has a due date, and chapter 2 has a due date. So use that calendar and drag and drop because it just makes life so much easier and so much faster for you.
Is there a way to change the default time?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Yeah, because I have all my stuff due at 6 o'clock on a Thursday evening.
If you drag it out to a Thursday, it's going to be 11:59. I don't know. Right. I haven't played with it. There may be a setting that you could play around with and find. I just don't know it. Okay. So yeah. The other thing is all these assignments, by the way, aren't normally in here by default. Other than chapter exams, these are exams or items that I have set up inside of a class shell that I will give you if you want it. So just let me know. I've got information on how to use that. Which brings me to our second item. So we will be using, obviously, Netacad. You will be reading all the information. You'll be doing the chapter exams. You'll be doing the labs and the packet tracers. Be aware, I know there are a ton of assignments inside of these classes. For my instructors, I normally aim for you to do about 80% of the assignments. So I don't expect you to do every single assignment. I will tell you this, you will be better prepared for the exam and you'll be better prepared to teach the class if you do every single assignment. If you get into a bind in a chapter and you cannot do every single assignment and you can do 80% of them, that's fine. I'm not going to have a heart attack. Also other thing, I do put due dates on these, but I don't strictly enforce the due dates. The only reason I put due dates on is because I know if you're like me and there's no due date, I'll put it off indefinitely. I have 10 million things at work to do. And so if it doesn't have a due date on it, I'm going to make it the least important thing on my list of to-dos. So I give you a due date. However, if you miss it by a day or two, don't have a heart attack. Just get it done and get it turned in. So I don't freak out about that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, I had to get rid of that Bluetooth headset. That's what was cutting in and out. The one that asked about the calendar thing, yeah, I discovered when you drag and drop, it's almost like Google Calendar. If you click on the assignment, you get like a little mini window, and you can adjust date and time right there.
Okay, let me go back. We'll look at that.
I was sitting here just talking, and then I heard you come back in, and I was like, oh, whoops.
Okay, let me run back over here, and we'll try it.
Yeah, because
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. So here you just click on it and do a quick edit, and you can change the time there. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So you can do it all right there. So you can drag it out and then just touch each one of them, copy them. Once you get them in on that Thursday and you do 6 o'clock, you can just copy and paste that 6 into the time. But I don't think there's a way to change the default time when you drag it out.
Probably not.
Still, it saves a bunch of time to be able to do it like that.
Well, everything is in one window now.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, that'll save me a day and a half worth of work.
Exactly.
Kelly, I had a question about the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
You said, were you talking about 80% of the whole work or 80% of each chapter?
80% of each chapter.
Okay.
So, again, just roughly, I mean, I'm not going to go in with a fine-tooth comb and go, ooh, they only did 70% on chapter 1.
Okay.
No, but just try to hit 80% in terms of the amount, if there are 3 or 4 packet tracers, try to do 3 of them, and try to do as many as you can, 3 or 4 labs. I will tell you, at the level you're at here, the packet tracers are important, but those hands-on labs inside of NetLabs are more important than the packet tracers. Okay. So
now, what about like this first packet tracer for the was it scaling?
Yep.
It's research. Do you actually want us to go out and do all this research and
just put a little something in? I mean, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time doing that. The big thing there is make sure you realize that your students are going to have to do that, and I just put it in there to make sure you're prepared to know that that's going to take a little different grading.
Right.
So, again, once we get to our labs, we'll be at NetLabs. The beauty of this system, if you've been using our new system of VE, it doesn't require Java, thank goodness, because Java is of the devil. But you are in a class called either Scaling KFC. By the way, KFC is my initials. Kelly Franklin called them not Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'd say I had it first, and I could sue KFC, but actually they were around before I was, so I can't say anything. But you're in one of these 2 classes, and you will see that you do have the skills-based assessments, and then you have just the regular lab. So if you click on just the bottom one here, you'll have all the labs for the chapter. And so you can do those and take care of those. Another new thing on the lab is actually a pretty cool little item that is completely new for you, and that is the lab has a maximum of 4 hours for any lab. I don't think you'll need that. But let's say you do 2 hours and you're almost at the end and you accidentally see you're going to run out of time. I've actually allowed 2 extensions, and there's a little thing during the lab that says up at the top, request extension, and it gives you like another 15 minutes. So I've allowed up to an extra 30 minutes. So if you get to the end of a lab and you're about to run out of time, you can request that extension, and it will give you more time to complete the lab.
Oh, thank you. I've tried using that before, and it's like, yeah, no, that's not allowed.
Yeah, so I do that with all mine. I allow at least 2 extensions now. Let me know if you have any problems with access. There should be no big issues, knock on wood. Occasionally we have somebody in an intro class who deletes the flash off of a switch, or we have a switch that's being ornery and it just doesn't want to boot completely, or a router doesn't boot for some reason. Just let me know, and in particular, when you do have a problem, try to let me know about what pod you're in so that I can check that individual pod. It just makes life a whole lot easier on me.
You know to go straight to pod 3. Come on.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. There are 6 pods. One thing I will tell you, oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to actually. Under schedule, when I schedule a lab for myself, and I go down here, scaling, and I click here, you'll see all the labs available. I'm going to click just on a lab. You see there are 4 pods, but if you click this little arrow right here, there are actually 6 pods. So be aware there are extra couple pods out here that you may not see if you don't click the little arrow. And we're looking to add more pods, so just be aware of that. You also know you can start it right now or anytime in the future. So be aware if you know you've got time on the 17th on Saturday, anytime, you can go and actually create a reservation out that far, as far as you want. The only thing I ask is if you have a reservation, please use it. If you're not going to use the reservation, then cancel that reservation so that the pods are available. We have people all over the world using these pods, so it does help if they're available if you're not using them.
Kelly, can you reset my password? Because I don't remember it.
Yes, I will reset it for as soon as we get off here. I'll reset it in NetLabs, and it'll be Cisco 123.
Okay, thank you.
Yep,
Same for me, Kelly. It's been a while.
Okay, all right, I can do that. Brandon, you still good?
Oh, I'm good. I've already knocked out the first labs.
Okay.
This first 2.
All right, then we will definitely. I'll definitely do that then. All right. Any questions about our basic use of Netacad and NetLabs?
I'm good.
All right. The last thing will be my YouTube channel, folks. I just made a new playlist, and that playlist is actually called ITC Spring 2019 classes, somewhere in here. It should be. Maybe it didn't actually make because it didn't have any videos in it, but it should be in here. There are also some things you may be interested in here, such as I do have ASC ITC tutorials. So if you need to learn how to add an existing instructor to your academy or PTSA check or any of these other items here, looking at your instructor transcript so that you can see what you're actually certified to teach or accredited to teach, and then how to use my shells. All those are in there, and I'm going to be adding more tutorials as we go forward, especially on things like checking whether or not classes require instructor training and some equipment issues that people continuously have questions about. That is, I will send out to you my my channel's just URL and for us, but if you just go and search K Caudle 52, you will find me. And I will tell you there are some videos of my dog on here and some duck hunting videos, but it's become mainly my work playlist and videos now. So, all right. Do we have any questions about class at all?
I don't have any.
Okay. I didn't think there would be many in these because right now, I mean, all of you have had classes with us before, so I figured you would be good to go. I'm going to, I don't want to do that. I'm going to actually stop sharing. And I'm actually going to stop recording.